The meeting of July 12th, of the Planning Commission. And could we have the roll taken?
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Badami?
Here.
Commissioner Hudis?
Here.
Commissioner Janoff?
Here.
Vice Chair Kane?
Here.
And Chair O'Donnell.
Here. Looks like we'll be two commissioners light, but we still have a majority. So we'll proceed. Next thing we would do is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all join me. Commissioner Hudis will lead us.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any subcommittee reports? Just parenthetically, the Planning Commission, each of us serves on at least one subcommittee, and we often meet during the month. But as of the moment, there are no reports. Okay, so now we move to verbal communications, and these are communications unrelated to matters on the agenda. It's a pretty light audience, so it ought to be easy, but if somebody wants to talk about a matter not on the agenda, now is the time to do it. Seeing no one, we can move on to the consent item, which in this case is the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion?
I have a
Vice Chair
question. I have a
Kane?
question on
Go
the
ahead.
minutes, if I may. For staff, on the item of the seller policy, on page 6, we indicate that the motion passed 4-2. Has it been our custom to not include which commissioners voted which way?
That's correct.
I thought it was different in the past.
The only time we note something is if someone's recused or abstains.
Thank you.
All right, is there any further discussion of the minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion. Commissioner Badami,
I move to approve the minutes of June 28, 2017.
and is there a second? Vice Chair Kane?
I'll second the motion.
If there's no discussion, we'll call the question now. All those in favor, please say aye. Passes unanimously. All right. That moves us to the only public hearing of the evening. And unless I missed something, you're looking at me like I should. I thought, wow, I'm glad I didn't miss something. Okay, so let me get my number here. May we have a staff report on the matter, which is 17 and a half North Santa Cruz Avenue.
So the item before us this evening is 155 North Santa Cruz, and I believe Ms. Badami has...
Just read.
Yes, unfortunately, this project location is within 500 feet of my business location, so I will be recusing myself, but I will return for other business.
Okay. All right, so we're down to, what, 4 of us. It's still adequate to conduct the meeting. May I now have a staff report?
Yes, thank you. The applicant's requesting approval for a conditional use permit for a minor restaurant. Minor restaurants in the downtown are required to be approved by the Planning Commission. The project before you this evening is a business which will serve brewed teas and other beverages, and then also have food. There will also be a retail component associated with it, where they will sell loose leaf tea and also teaware. There's additional information in the staff report, and staff's available if you have any questions. Otherwise, we can move to the presentation from the applicant.
All right, are there any questions? Vice Chair Kane?
Mr. Paulson, as I read the report, approvals of CUP go with the land, and I think the staff report made a point, because we're concerned about retail giving way to food service restaurant. But the staff report made the point that if in the future a retail business would like to relocate, there'd be no restriction against that. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Any other questions or comments? All right, if not, I will call the applicant. The applicant will have up to 10 minutes. I don't know if I received a card from you, But later you can give me one, that's fine. But just identify yourself when you speak, please.
Good evening. We are Casablanca Teas, and we're here this evening seeking a conditional use permit for a
I would like you to identify each of you and an
first.
address,
Okay,
please.
yeah, we were going to
Thank
get
you.
to that. I apologize. I'm Linda Reiners, and this is my daughter.
I'm Christy Reiners.
And an address, please?
The address of our location where we live.
Typically a mailing address.
Okay, 430 Snyder Avenue, San Jose, California.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, please go ahead.
Okay. We're here this evening seeking approval for a conditional use permit of a mixed retail and minor restaurant for our tea business. Here was our introduction. So we are a small business, mother-daughter small business. We are very passionate about our teas. This is my daughter, Christy. She will act as the chef. She's a trained chef and tea master for our business.
And this is my mom, Linda, and she's going to be in charge of business and sourcing our teas. And we're also here with our architect, Greg Stowers, if you guys have questions. So we're really committed to offering a unique and high-quality experience for the town of Los Gatos. We have sort of three main focuses when it relates to our tea. First and foremost, we really strive to go to the best tea growing regions and source our tea from there. We also will have some food, which will either include tea as an ingredient or be made to complement tea. And lastly, we have several handcrafted small batch blends that we do, like Moroccan mint or Earl Grey. So we look forward to offering those.
She's being humble. She does all the cooking. So we've spent the last year doing, maybe get this more in the middle. We spent the last year doing product development, market testing, and we're confident that we have a business model that's going to support a sustainable business. It's interesting, tea is the most widely drank beverage after water in the whole world, with the exception of the United States. In the United States, though, it is actually very much a growing market, and in particular, specialty tea, which is what we do, is a growing market as the U.S. market is developing its taste and evolving its taste for tea. Primarily, tea has been consumed in the United States in the form of iced tea, which is not always the highest quality. And in the last several years, there's been a real resurgence of tea drinking, and it is going to continue to grow like that. The other kind of component of our business model is this concept that Christy mentioned of traveling to the source in the regions where the tea comes from. And we do that for several reasons. One is we want to understand the culture of the tea regions themselves are very different. It's not unlike wine in that the climate, the altitude, the soil, the way the farmers grow, what they use in terms of picking standards, et cetera, are really critical to the tea itself. We also want to bring that tea culture back to our customers and share that with them, and it'll be a pretty central theme within our shop itself. We also travel to these regions and to the farms because we want to also ensure that we understand the environment that the tea itself is being produced in, that we observe how the workers are being treated, and that we have that confidence that we're bringing a high-quality product back to our customers. And lastly, we do this because tea is actually a pretty small network, even though it's a global business, and we want to have those trusted relationships that are so important to making sure we're bringing the highest quality teas back to our customers. So as mentioned, we will be both mixed retail and beverage and food service. We anticipate that about 60% of our sales will come from retail, both in the form of loose leaf tea primarily, with the supporting sales associated with teaware and equipment that people will use to brew their tea. One of the things we really want to focus on is to ensure that the customer experience in our cafe is wonderful, and when they take tea home, that they're successful in their own efforts to brew tea. And part of that is having us help them understand how to brew tea and having the right equipment to do so.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, we're going to have some food. Some of it's quite indulgent, like brownies and cookies and tarts. But we also want to make sure to have some healthy options, especially with Soul Cycle and stuff being across the street. So we'll have salads and sandwiches as well. Food and beverages will be available for takeout and dine-in. We have a few sort of cafe-style seats in the plans. We'll have hot tea, iced tea, tea lattes, all those sorts of things, but we won't be serving any alcohol. So I would say central to our concept is a tea tasting bar. So if you went to sort of like a specialty tea store, before you buy tea, they typically will let you taste a few different teas. So that's going to be sort of our main focus in the store, is a nice tea bar where customers can sit, sample tea, learn how to brew it correctly, so that they can take it home and be successful. But we want to put a little bit more of a modern, sort of warm spin on it, and then as well as some cafe-style seating.
So we want to thank you for your time and your attention this evening. And we are, in fact, seeking approval for the CUP, and we hope that we can bring the very finest teas to Los Gatos. We think Los Gatos will be a great community for our tea business, and I hope that we are equally good for the community as well.
All right, thank you. Let's see if there are some questions. Vice Chair Kane?
How many employees do you anticipate working at the location?
The two of us and several part-time people as well, so we anticipate up to 5.
Do you have other locations?
No.
On your diagram for the restaurant floor, in the report it says seating is anticipated for 23, and I couldn't fit 23 people in there. Are you counting the bar stools?
Yes, absolutely.
And the other tables that have chairs on the outside, I'm assuming there's a running board seating area
Like booth seating.
that you would get the rest of them in?
So a booth running along the wall in an L shape, that you'll have tables.
And you've got 23 in there somehow. Okay, thank you.
Well, the architect, right?
Well, that's, well,
Are there other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anyone else here to speak on this matter? Now, I assume you are with them.
I'm with, so just Greg Stowers, Stowers Associates.
Okay.
In Campbell, I'm the project architect, and just wanted to make myself available to the commission if you have any questions on the plan or interior finishes or styling that the cafe will be looking for.
I appreciate that. Are there questions of the architect? Commissioner
Actually,
Janoff?
thank you. Just one. I noticed that there's a separate men's and women's room, and I was under the impression that California was going to a combination men's and women's, so just wanted to know.
Currently, the building code doesn't, the current issue of the California Building Code does not make that jurisdiction yet, and so based on our occupant load for the tenant space, code is requiring 2 separate bathrooms. We would love to be able to have a single unisex bathroom, or whether they're both unisex bathrooms, and in reality, probably both unisex might be more realistic as to how they may be used, but
Yeah.
currently the building code is asking us for 2.
Depending on whether your clientele is more female than male, it might push you to one decision or the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if the chief building official of Los Gatos will allow us, we'll be happy to label them as such.
Other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have one card, one additional card, from Angela Dorner.
Hello, Angelia Dorner, proud resident of the Almond Grove, and this is going to be located right around the corner from where I live. And I drink iced tea all the time. You guys see me with my big jug, and I bring a whole thing full of it with me. I just am here to support this idea. At first, I was a little hesitant because it seems like we're going a little bit too much to sort of a convenience food kind of mentality. But once I really looked into this one and have heard them speak, I believe it's much different than that versus a run in and grab a bottle of juice, because we've got another one of those now right across the street from the last one. So anyway, I just want to give them my support and want to let them know that there are a lot of people in the community that are willing to help them to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much. Now, you also have an opportunity to speak again. You don't have to speak again, but. I think if you're happy, we're happy. Okay. All right. Then we'll close the public input to this hearing, and I'll ask if there are any questions, discussions, or a motion. Commissioner Janoff.
I'd just like to say that I think it's a nice complement to what the town offers in that area. The town doesn't have a tea shop per se, and it's an interesting concept that brings not just food service or beverage service, but a sense of education, which I think will be a very attractive source of refreshment for the town. So I'm in favor.
Vice Chair Kane?
Question for staff. Is there any, given the 23 seats, and I've read the report, but is there any issue with parking?
There is no issue with parking.
Good.
I would like to say, too, that I think it's a really good project. I'm looking forward to it. And it's true, I've been in other countries where this is more typical, and I always find them quite nice. So I think it'll be a nice addition to Los Gatos. Vice Chair Kane?
I'm prepared to make a motion.
Please do.
I recommend we approve the request for minor restaurant on property zoned Charlie 2, APN 510-17096. I find that the project is categorically exempt pursuant to CEQA as adopted by the town. I make the findings required by Section 292190 of the Town Code for granting approval. I recommend we approve the CUP application with the conditions contained in Exhibit 3.
Is there a second? I'll second. Commissioner Janoff seconds. Any discussion? If not, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
The matter passes unanimously. Good luck. All right, Commissioner Badami is returning. That's good.
And there are appeal rights, so anyone who's not satisfied with the decision of the Planning Commission can appeal that decision to the Town Council. The forms are available in the clerk's office. There is a fee for filing the appeal, and the appeal must be filed within 10 days.
All right, so is there a report from you, Mr. Paulson?
There is not any report this evening.
Okay. As I recall, the hearing on the North 40, is that the 24th?
Yes, so the first hearing for the North 40 will be July 24th, which will be prior to your next meeting, so thank you for bringing that up.
And it's at 6 o'clock, is it?
That's correct. It's a special meeting that will start at 6 p.m. here in the chambers.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to double check that because that's going to be interesting, I think. All right, any comments, questions? If not, I think we can adjourn.